What is up, guys? It's me, the ALE Double X Prince, and I'm here to say that thank you, Chris Jericho, for 30 years. Without you, honestly, I wouldn't be where I am today. Let me just talk about Chris Jericho and what he means to me. Chris Jericho has been part of my life since I became a wrestling fan. Just to give you like an idea of where I was as a wrestling fan, I mainly just focused on like Mexican wrestling, and then that's how I knew Rey Mysterio, Eddie Guerrero, and that's how I knew it. But I didn't follow it too much because it was like they're just people wrestling, and I knew it was fake at the time. Yes, a fucking 6-year-old knew that shit was fake, or at least scripted, whatever the fuck you want to say. But Chris Jericho is one of those first few guys that I saw just not only be um freaking a good wrestler, but a good entertainer. Like this guy was just over. He made me hate him. Like that's how good he was in 2010. Sidetrack. I was attended an event on Monday Night Raw. I've been to one of the Monday Night Raw episodes. Believe it or not, it was 2 weeks before WrestleMania 26. They did a bunch of rewind matches, like they did Cena and Big Show from Mania 20, Triple H and Orton from 25, and then they did Shawn Michaels and Chris Jericho from 19. So I was also a part of one of Shawn Michaels' last televised matches, so I could say that. But anyways, you didn't get to see this, but on commercial, they went to commercial break, and while they were on commercial break, Chris Jericho cut a vicious promo talking shit about San Diego, and it got him such heat, and it was fucking awesome. I loved it. I mean, I was mad at the time because I was like 11, I think, when this shit happened. 2010. It was in 2010. Yes, I was 11 years old. So I was pretty fucking furious, but that's how great he was as a heel. And then when he was a babyface, he was a good babyface, but I like him a lot more as a heel. Um, like I think he was a better face in WCW. That's the honest truth. But as a heel, he's one of the top 10 greatest heels of all time. For me, maybe he's my favorite just because Chris Jericho is in my top three, right behind Michaels and Taker. Nothing tops those two, and especially that classic at Mania 25, which brings me to my next topic. WrestleMania 25 was the first time I ever became a wrestling fan. So, at that night we had anyone who knows me knows that I'm a big movie fan, and I guess the original plan was Jericho and Mickey Rourke, which would have been awesome, honestly. But I was happy with what Jericho did. Like, even when he has a shitty moment, he does the best to make it work. And that is fantastic. Like, even his crappy match with Fandango, he got him over until they screwed up Fandango. So, anyways, one of my, favorite memories was actually attending a Fozzy concert from Chris Jericho. Yes, I do follow the band Fozzy, not just because it's Jericho, but they're actually a legit good band. My favorite song, I have plenty of favorite songs. Enemy will be probably a lot of people's number one. The Way I Am, Grail. My favorite one is gotta be what was it called? Fuck. The one that goes, I don't want to live without her. That was bad. But you know which one. That's weird. I can't believe I can't remember the name of that song. Um, yeah. If it pops into my head, I'll probably say it. But yeah, that was one of my favorite songs. Mm-hmm. Um, and I even admit when Chris Jericho wasn't doing good, like in Fozzy, when that song "Lights Go Out," which was the theme song to SummerSlam 2014, was so fucking annoying. That was one of the worst albums I've ever heard, like just in general. I didn't like it. When the lights go out. No, I hated that song. I also hated Sandpaper. I don't know why people love that song. I fucking hate it. It's so stupid. Uh, what else? We could talk about probably the one thing that truly made me who I am today. Um, Talk is Jericho. The first episode I ever listened to was him. I'm so sorry. I got something in my teeth and it's annoying me. It's him and Chavo Guerrero talking about the Chris Benoit tragedy before we had the Dark Side of the Ring promo. Or Dark Side of the Ring episode, I should say. That was the first episode I ever listened to of Talk is Jericho. And then I started going through other ones like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Miz, Wade Barrett, like Triple H, all of those ones were great. This guy clearly knows how to talk. This guy clearly knows, like, if you give him his own thing, he knows how to be entertaining. Like, obviously, Steve Austin is more like the shoot promo, but this guy was great. Like, just talking, and it felt natural. And it motivated me to actually study that, like radio and film and all that stuff. I even had my own show for a brief second. Unfortunately, I can't go to the studio because of the pandemic. But all of that work was thanks to Chris Jericho's inspiration. Like the guy just had a full like set of resume. He writes books. He has his own talk show. He works in music, and he's a professional wrestler. Like that is a big fucking schedule, and he's helping the best he can with AEW. So that's another thing. Um, and if you look at me through the years. So some of you who know me personally know that I've been a farmer, I've been a musician, I've been a barista, I've been a radio host, like I mentioned. I'm currently a chef, a cashier. That is just great work for me. And this guy just inspires me to just keep going and doing things my own way. Even if he gets hate, he tries to make it work. And that is another thing. He proves you wrong. Like, even if it looks like shit, he's like, alright, I'll prove you that this could work. Like, the list of Jericho should have failed miserably, but it was honestly one of the greatest things to happen that year. Um, honestly. Um, Anything else that he made over? Um, Honestly, this guy just did everything perfect. Like, actually, this is a fun fact, but not last year, 2 years ago for Halloween, I was dressed as Chris Jericho from like how he looks like now, like with the eyeliner, like the like hair, like the fucking what's it called, the long hair, the jacket. Like, people thought I was Ozzy Osbourne. Some people thought I was a member of Motley Crue. People had no idea who the hell I was because not a lot of people follow wrestling, especially now. So, but I was like, oh, I'm Chris Jericho. Some people know who that is, so it's great. So, like, Chris Jericho, oh, is it the wrestler? Like, yeah, this is how he dresses like now, and it's pretty badass. And I don't know, it was silly, but it was awesome. I love that costume. Probably one of my favorite costumes ever. But yeah, without Jericho, like, it doesn't inspire me to talk the way I talk, the way I do things. He's just a guy that without him, I wouldn't be at where I am today. And that is why, 30 years of Jericho, this guy has just brought many generations to positivity. Like, without this guy, I don't know where wrestling would be, especially AEW. Without Jericho, AEW would be on the flops. They got Kenny Omega, they got the Young Bucks, but Jericho is like the legit guy that you should always look out for. Um, I don't know what else to say. You guys might wonder what is my favorite Chris Jericho match. So a lot of people easily just go to Michaels and Jericho from 19. Some people even say the Mysterio match from the Bash. Hell, people say Jericho and Kenny Omega is the best Chris Jericho match. For me, it's Chris Jericho versus Chris Benoit, Royal Rumble 2001, the ladder match. That is my favorite Chris Jericho match because they only used one ladder and they did the best they can with it, and it just shows like how great of a talent those two were. Unfortunately, one's memory will always be forgotten. Um, so yeah, and he's making the inner circle. He gets people over. Kevin Owens, the inner circle. Christian, he made Christian a star before Randy Orton did. Uh, Who else? Edge, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, John fucking Cena. Like, actually, if you guys do not know this, this is a fun fact. Chris Jericho's John Cena's first pay per view opponent. Anybody who knew that. So yeah, that is true. So, anyways, that is it. Yeah, thank you, Chris Jericho, for 10 years. Um, 30 years, I should say, but I've been watching you for 10 years almost. So yeah, like I said, Jericho's the reason I stick around with professional wrestling. Is the reason how I live today. The reason why I always wanted to like do things the way he does. It is just awesome to just have like a big resume and be more than just what you can be and be expanding. And that is great. He inspired me, and I hope he inspired a lot of you because he definitely inspired me. So again, Chris Jericho, you will never, ever be forgotten. Ever.